Thank you all so much for joining us on this amazing evening for the leadership class. Now, of course, we all know cameras on. Unless you're in an extremely compromised position, please keep your camera off. And when you are not in a compromised position, just turn it on. You can see your beautiful smiling face.
Well, I had to come on and show my face, but I'm getting ready to go back off because, yeah,
You
I'm in
looking
that
beautiful,
position.
Miss Sandra.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
Can't go
thank
this
you.
camera.
You are.
What's she
Yeah.
trying to do? Watch her.
All right, welcome. Hi, everyone. Hi. Hello there. I know it's been a long day. It's a Friday. Come on, let's get some smiles going, y'all. You made it through the day. You made it. No matter what happened, you made it through the day. Hey, Miss Frida, Mr. Otis, Miss Queen Chi, how you doing? Miss Tracy, Miss Kim, Miss Sandra, Miss Yolanda, Mr. Juan, Miss Arshia, Mr. Phil, Miss Renee, and Miss Trace. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Got cameras on. All right. Now, again, y'all know cameras on. Type of class we in. My last day at work was my. I'm gonna celebrate with you, Miss Trace. I'm gonna celebrate. All right. Okay. Moving. All right. We are going to get it started now. Y'all know Antonio takes us month on month. There's a certain subject he talks about. So today we're going to follow up with the matrix. But next week begins the month of forgiveness. Next week begins the month of forgiveness. So get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. All right. Again, if you can, if you just join us. Hey, Mari, Miss Fabby, Uncle Jerome. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all. All right. Okay. So for those of you just hopping on, of course, cameras on, because that's the kind of class this is. Oh, it's 9/22/22. Huh, look at that. Next week begins a month of forgiveness. I don't know about all of y'all, but everybody struggle with a little forgiveness every now and then, because in your mind and your heart and your spirit, they deserve to get knocked out. But forgiveness comes first. Gotta forgive. You want somebody to forgive you, you gotta forgive. And it just makes life a whole lot better. You have a little more ease, no anxiety, no knots in your stomach, no feeling to want to punch somebody. Just forgiveness. So next week begins a month of forgiveness. All right. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get Mr. Antonio will be joining us this evening. He is going to be present so that he can be present in class, but he won't be speaking tonight. His camera's going to be off because, of course, he is taking care of his mother, but he will be on. And I don't know, y'all may move him to unmute his mic. I don't know, depends on what y'all say tonight. Because y'all know when it get good, he may unmute that mic and say something. All right. So let's get it started. Tonight, we're talking about the hidden ways Antonio says the matrix is holding you back. I'm going to list the ways first, and then we're going to open it up because this is an interactive class. So I'm going to list all of the topics, and then we're going to start at the top one. And we're going to open it up unless one of these topics touch you to the light in your soul and you like, hey, I got to talk about that one. So we're going to begin. Again, I'm going to list them first, okay? I'm going to list them first. and then we're going to talk about them. So the hidden ways, Antonio says the matrix is holding you back. Y'all ready for this list? Because when he was telling me this list, I was like, ugh, ooh. I was like, The first one is people pleasing.
I knew that. I know that one. It was real
I'm
close.
feeling that one in my shana now. So yeah.
You know, I think we all know that one a little too well in some shape, form, and fashion.
Sucks booty juice sometimes.
Now that's
I plead the fifth. Thank you very much.
I mean, I wouldn't know, but I'm just saying.
I love it. I love it. Now, y'all see that? That's just the first one.
But we ain't got time for that, especially if you feel it in your shana.
You need to coin
the right thing.
Yeah, you need to trademark that, Renee. That's gonna be your trademark. I can feel it in my shana now. Every
Well,
time
actually, I think I stole it from Willie Moore Jr. But sometimes I use it because it applies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I do agree. Y'all, excuse me if you hear the dinging back and forth. That's me talking to Antonio. No. Okay, awesome. Got you, Mr. Otis. All right. So that's just number one. That's one in a list of like 15. The second one is fear. Fear.
And once again, there it is. I was dealing with that today. Jeez.
Every day. It hits you every day in some shape, form, or fashion. That's how the matrix is holding you back. The third one is the idea of being a good person. The idea of being a good person. Number 4, living your parents' life. Yeah, Arcia. Yeah, he was hitting it. Number 5, religion. Number 6, excuses. Number 7, lack of self-care. Number 8. Y'all unmute your mics and speak. You know, this is
Sure.
an interactive class. Oh,
How dare you, Deanna?
this is not my fault.
What is the
what?
topic of these? What is the topic of these things that I'm getting punched in the face with?
The hidden ways. Antonio says the matrix is holding you back.
Oh Lord! All right.
I was thinking it was ways to punch Queen Renee and Queen Grace right in the face. That's why I was thinking that was the subject. Oh, my bad.
Yo, you could.
Question. What was the one about good person? What can you elaborate on that one?
The idea of being a good person keeps us in the matrix. See, I'm going to tell you from my perspective. The thought, like being a good person, the idea of it means you're locked in the matrix because you're not being you. You're being the idea of a good person, what you think a good person is.
That makes more sense. I get it. Yeah.
Trust me, I had that one all wrong, Yolanda. I had that one all wrong. All wrong. So yeah, the idea of being a good person. Lack of self-care. Lack of self-care. Not having clear goals. That also is how the matrix is holding you back. Now this next couple of ones, when he said that, I was like, okay. The first one is dating the wrong person. And the second one is marrying the wrong person. He just all up in that.
Oh, he meddling with that one. He meddling.
He meddling with all of them, actually. But he was really meddling with those two.
All of them.
Dating.
He meddling with all of them.
Yeah, pretty much. Negativity. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss Trey. Miss Trey Nace, I am going to give these again. I'll also copy and paste them for you all as well. Being negative and not knowing it. I'll put my hand up. I'll put my hand up on that. Using religion as an excuse to be negative. Yeah. You know how you, let me see. How can I explain this? I'm just gonna say it, y'all. Please don't judge me for it. Because I've seen it. I've had family that's done it. Where you know, they're not perfect. And you love them and accept them for their imperfections. And then they get into church and now all of a sudden they're perfect. And because they started going to church,
oh my God, I've been saved for 15 minutes and they want to tell you how you live it wrong. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Grace got it. I'm just gonna keep on moving. I'm gonna keep the train going.
I mean, it don't even have to be family. You could just walk into church nude, trying to learn something and get all the eyes looking at you like you don't belong, and you'll feel like you don't belong and turn right back around. Because you're judging that person walking in, trying to figure out what about their life, and they don't look like you look on a good Sunday afternoon, and they just don't ever come back because they feel so judged.
And you know the crazy thing, Damali, that goes back up to being negative and not knowing it. You thinking you
talking about being negative and not knowing it. You think you a high holy church mom, and you looking at the little baby that was in the strip club last night, like what you doing here? And she just trying to get her life right, and she ain't got an opportunity because she can't even get through the door.
Whew.
Like you doing all that you're supposed to do on this side of since I met Jesus. Man, please.
Okay, we got some more. We gonna keep the train moving. We coming back.
If she takes 10% of those strippers' earnings and that money gets thrown on the stage and give that to the Lord, then maybe she'll get in as entrance, then just 10%.
Now, if y'all, I'm not, you know what? I ain't even gonna bring it here because it's a TV show that
just the one.
That exact scenario took place. It's a good show too. We ain't gonna bring it up this class though. All right, so last one we stopped on was using religion as an excuse to be negative. The next one is self-doubt / imposter syndrome.
Ah, shoot.
The Matrix is holding you back with that. Avoiding past issues. I'll be the first one to put my hand up.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
A lot of us got trauma and issues now because we was avoiding the past issues. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for the right time. Y'all know what that looked like. We've all done it. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how old you are. I don't care where you are in life. Waiting for the right time has hit all of us, and we got stuck in the matrix.
I don't know. All I can tell is I don't know if I should have came today or not.
You good? You good? Because we're going to talk about this so we can all move past it. Because I'm sure the past couple of weeks for quite a few people have been quite rough. And we're about to open up some stuff that's going to trigger you because you've probably been triggered in the last 2 weeks. You're probably triggered like 1,500 times today. But that's why we're family. That's why we're here. And we're going to all work it out together. Waiting for the right time. Now, quitting too easily. Backdoored with never getting started. Being inauthentic. I'll raise my hand for that one. Surrounding yourself with people who are complacent.
Can you repeat that one?
Surrounding yourself with people who are complacent.
Damn want to move. Come on. Holy Spirit. Jesus. Right. We sinking.
We sinking.
We sinking.
It's about to be wide open, Miss Sandra. We're about to bust it wide open. It's wide open. Okay.
why I'm afraid
Don't
of.
pop to my head, y'all. So don't pop to my head. Okay.
It did to my too,
We're
and
just
I
thinking
tell
that
them bring
song.
it back. Okay.
Being a dreamer with no action. Being a dreamer with no action. Taking care of too many people. Not taking care of yourself before you take care of others. Now,
See now, you ain't had to go there because I'm doing better. I'm learning. I'm doing better. I mean, I'm doing. I'm
there
getting
you
better.
go. There you go. Now, you all, I'm a copy and paste for you so y'all can go back. Now that we know the hidden ways Antonio says the matrix is holding you back, let's have a conversation. And we're going to start with number 1. People pleasing. People pleasing is one of the hidden ways Antonio says the matrix is holding you back. I would love for you all to unmute your mics and share with us how you think people pleasing has you stuck in the matrix. I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
I can. Oh, okay.
Oh no, go
Okay,
ahead. Go ahead,
okay.
Miss Renee.
Okay. Oh,
I was gonna break the ice with it. Thank you. Go ahead, Miss Renee.
Oh, okay. It can kind of be like being a puppet and letting people be like, oh, well, you should do this, and going ahead and doing it. And some things that people say are not for you. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself living somebody else's life, and you'll look up and you won't have even begun to live yours because you're too busy doing what everybody expects you to do all the time. I can only say that I had let people be like, Renee, you should do this. And that's how I got poisoned, because I was drinking from people that I had no business drinking from. And then I had to be like, you know what? And I found myself in a mess that I wasn't even supposed to be in, but because you can't drink from everybody's table. So I can't, I'm at a point where I cannot, if I disappoint you over a choice that I made, raspberries. Okay, it's just the way it is. And if you don't like the decision I made, oh well, just suck it up, buttercup. And because it's the choice that I made, it's got to deal with my life. And if I mess up, okay, then it's my mess up. But you have to live for yourself and not live for other people, because when it's over, it's over. We can't do anything about it, but we can't be puppets. We cannot be puppets and let people just, you know what I'm saying, be like that old school NSYNC video, that Bye Bye Bye, where they were on puppets and stuff, and that one person was controlling them and they ain't had no say so. So yeah, there we go.
All right.
This is what you get.
Sorry.
This is what you get.
Right.
This is what you get on the inspiration section of Crazy Weird News. So if you hadn't checked out Crazy Weird News, I encourage you to check out Crazy Weird News, because she be this is what she be doing. Okay, Prophet J get the test. So can she? So it was free.
Now, before we move forward, I want everyone to know that Antonio said all these 24 boxes should be talking 80% of the time. So y'all, come on. Y'all, we family. We done talked about so much on here. We done chat so much on here. Y'all, come on. 80. Look, he just 80. So, and we're talking about people pleasing right now. So y'all go ahead.
Okay. I'll jump in this. As far as people pleasing, oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. We can hear you. We got John Calloway, Damali, then Prophet Jerry.
Okay. I'll say my disease, people pleasing, came about. I'll look at it in a different way. You know, coming up as a little boy, as you know, as I told you, my mom was 13 when she became pregnant and had me at 14. Well, at that time, she's still a teenager. So she's still acting out, being a teenager. My grandmother took over raising me. So my mom was really around because she was being a kid. And so my grandmother took over, but my grandmother, you know, was busy being a businesswoman and taking care of things and running the show. And everybody else didn't really have time to pay attention to me. So coming up as a child, virtually everything I did was alone, you know, and what it did for me was as I was growing up, I kept wondering why nobody ever had time for me, not even to come to my sports, to watch me. Everything, every sport that I ever played, I actually taught myself. I never had anyone or a male figure in the family to teach me how to play baseball, football, any of that. I actually taught myself everything that I learned about sports. And as I grew up, and with that in mind, I'm thinking, why is it nobody never have any time for me? And what happened was I started doing any and everything. I was always naturally funny, comedic. So I started doing everything to get attention from everybody. And in the process of doing that, I wanted to be liked by everybody, which I found out later on is impossible to do. Because no matter what you do, or no matter how much people like you, not all of them will like you. Just for you, surely, just being you. And this is what I dealt with coming up. And it went all into my adulthood, all the way up into now. And I'm just now beginning to get to the point. And it actually came with getting frustrated and aggravated, snapping off on people like, hey, I'm fucking tired of, you know, looking out for everybody else. You know, I'm tired of being there for everybody else because I looked up when it's time, you know, when I'm in a crunch, when I'm down, nobody is there for me. Nobody is looking out for me. Nobody is helping me, you know? So I'm like, and then here I am again, having to figure out, okay, John, you got into this. How do you figure out how to get out of this? How do you figure out how to help yourself? How do you figure out how to do this for yourself? So it's always, you know, me being the Lone Ranger without Tonto, you know, but as growing up, I always tried so hard to get everybody to like me because it seemed like nobody ever paid attention to me, you know, so and it even goes to the point reverse, you know, when people do pay attention and say, hey, John, you know, you great at this or you great at this and this and this, you're shy about being thankful for that or believing that because you're like, I don't know. You know, even when I had issues and went into my little anger issues and things, you know, when people tried to help me through my trying times, because no one had helped me so much before, I was still pushing people away because of the fact I would like somebody would try to help me. And I'm like, what the hell you help? You know, you all in my business for? Why are you trying to help me? You ain't never been there to help me before. So I was still pushing people away because I didn't know who was my ally or who was my foe. And yet I continued on for years and years, all the way up until now, you know, trying to get people to like me. It's only been recently in the past year or two that I finally, you know, got to a point where I said, you know, I don't need the opinions of others, you know, to feel good. I don't need, you know, everybody else to like me all the time for me to feel good about me or for me to like myself. I started really, really loving and liking myself more and more and more and being pleased with myself. You know, like, hey, I mean, that's where it's all come from. They say happiness comes from within, you know, and it all starts from within. Even the Bible speaks about everything coming from within. Everything you need is within. It took me a while to realize that, but I finally realized it, understand it. And it's like now I'm not overly concerned about it, but I know throughout my childhood, because of the fact that many people did not pay attention to me, you know, I was, because coming up in, you know, in my childhood, in the family, my grandmother, the old adage, a child should be seen and not heard, you know, and that's the way it went for many, many years. So I became not only shy, but also, like I said, I developed the habit of just wanting to be liked by everyone. And that brought along its own set of problems and pains and hurts too, because people, can be pretty cruel at times. So that's what I've learned over the years about all the people pleasing and trying to do all that, because you're never going to be able to please them all. You're never going to be able to make everybody happy. Even being the best speaker on the planet, the best motivator, you still are not going to motivate some of them yahoos. You're still not going to make them, feel good about taking action, about changing their lives. But it's just not going to happen, because that's just human nature.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Calloway. If we can just let Renee and Mr. Calloway know we are grateful for their transparency. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. All right. The hidden ways Antonio says the matrix is holding you back. The first one is people pleasing. Go ahead, Prophet Jerry.
People pleasing. You get a dream. Source, God, universe, give you something, but then you go to somebody else and ask them for their opinion. And then you ask somebody else for their opinion. You got 3 or 4 people you're asking, and you're trying to do all of them, and you end up missing out on your dream because different people had different things to say. Or people pleasing that you was a puppet, like Renee said. And that's what I was. I was a puppet. As a kid, I was a puppet. I can feel what John was saying, to where being picked on as the kid of being small and a midget and wanting that attention. So I had to get in trouble to get people to laugh at me, get in trouble to get people to see me as the class clown. People pleasing. And it ended up getting me in trouble every time my mouth washed out with soap or my bum getting whooped.
Wow. Thank you, Prophet Jerry, for sharing. Thank you very much. Because people pleasing will keep you in the matrix longer. Keep you in the matrix. Miss Trey Nace.
So everything that I heard on the list, because I don't know, I got booted out or whatever. Everything that I heard on the list are things that people threw us in the matrix with in the first place. The people pleasing thing, the just about everything on the list. Me and my son were talking about this on my way to the airport on Tuesday, about how you want people to like you, but then at what cost? What are you willing to trade off for people to like you? What are you willing to trade off to for religion? What do you? Religion is the main thing, though. When you think about it, everybody got their own ideologies of what the Bible says, or they listening to what Pastor so and so has said, and they won't even read it for themselves. So we let our parents put us in the matrix when we're little. How about that? Because they're going off of whatever somebody else told them, whatever fear they have, they're putting that on you. So they're, come on in here. It's safe in here. Come on into the matrix. Do this. And as you get older, you either maintain what you have learned in air quotes, or you say, I don't know, something don't feel right about this, which is where I am now. I question everything. This don't even feel good. I don't like this. So I think I'm gonna do something new. So everything on that list that I heard was somebody else started that off. Our gods, our parents, our first educators, our grandparents, people that we trust, because we trust that they are not going to tell us anything that's going to hurt us. They have wisdom because they have been in the world longer than we have.
Yep.
So they gave us the blue pill or the red pill, whichever one it is, to put you in there. They gave us that when when the baby falls down, you say, "Oh," and the baby started crying because you've already started. It's already started from a young person, from a baby. Just think about how you even raise your own children, because you don't even remember when you were a baby. Think about how you raised your own children. We were pulling them into the matrix the whole time and didn't even know. Me as the oldest child, I wanted to please everybody. I wanted to protect everybody, because I feared that my mother was going to be unhappy if I didn't protect people. I feared that my grandmother was not going to care about me the same way if I did this, that, and the other thing. But to be honest, it's a way to hold you hostage into somebody else's ideology, somebody else's lifestyle. And I think I've been more free now within the most recent years, since I've made decisions. I don't agree with that, so I think I'm going to just do something different. So that's all I got.
Wow. Not and it's crazy. Yes, they clapping for you. And it crazy thing is, Mr. Trinace, it's not even just those older than us or our parents. Like you said, you're the oldest. There are things that you were taught. You were taught how to be in the matrix, and you turned around and you showed your younger siblings what you were taught. So it extra solidifies to them because they look up to you. So it extra solidifies in them, the matrix is safe. The matrix is the place to be. Everything is for you in the matrix. Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we have Mr. Jamal, and after Mr. Jamal, we have Miss Yolanda.
Word. So I'm feeling everybody's what they're saying before now. Trene's totally 100% agree. I think I'm gonna expound on that. It's because your parents are the first person to teach you, so you trust what they say. It's not that you know that they're not, but at some point you are as smart or smarter than them as an adult. So you have to kind of like step away from that. And I feel what JC was saying, because I grew up an only child, so I don't know nothing about sharing. I'm not a, I did the jokes and all that funny stuff or whatever. That's a mask. I'm wearing a mask because normally I don't even like human beings. I don't like most people. My favorite episode of the Twilight Zone is when he, go into the book depository or whatever, and the vault, and the nuclear bomb hits, and now you got time to read, and he step on his glasses, and I had time to read, and the glasses are broken on the ground. That's how I feel like, and most of the time I'm like, I could do without most humans anyways, but just to piggyback on the people pleasing, my mother, just kind of round it all up. My mother been selling real estate since the 80s, and there was this real nice house I looked at, not too far from hers, nice neighborhood. Can't get into it right now if you wanted to. This house was $45,000. They're gonna let me have it on the VA for pennies. And she told me, she said, I don't like that neighborhood because somebody had a sign somebody had a sign on the gate that said trespassers will be shot, survivors will be shot again. It's just Texas. That's how it go, right? So I just flat was like, okay, well, I'll listen to you. I won't buy the house or whatever. I had VA and all this stuff lined up. I just didn't buy the house. If I tell you the house is worth $250,000 right now, it was a 45, and I got to ride by the house every time I go to a house. When I say it's a knife in my throat, I mean every single time I ride by the house, I just shake my head and I look at it, because it made me realize that I'm just as smart as she is too. I have those experiences that she gave me, but I was able to expound on that. I don't have to. I think I initially didn't do what I was supposed to do because I was trying to please her. She was, telling me that she was, fearful of a safety for me and my kid and all this stuff like that. It had nothing to do with nothing. Like, people don't be messing with me. Like, she's worried about some stuff that goes on with her. That happened to me. I don't have no problem with people. So I don't have that aggression. People, want to aggress me on the street. That's not a thing for me. So, just like I said, just my disease to please another person cost me And and you know what I'm saying, and that's a reminder for me. So I'm not saying she's a bad person or she's not smart or anything like that. I'm just saying I had a different thought. I had a different intention. Like y'all was saying, you know what I'm saying. God gave that to me, and He gave that to everybody else. That was for me personally. It didn't matter if nobody else saw it. No matter if nobody else believed in it. That's me. So she can do with it what she want to do with it. You know what I mean? But that's on me. So now that's God reminding me every time I go by there, you better believe in yourself, because look at it. Because every time I see that house, they do exactly what I thought I was going to do with that house. I got to shake my head for the rest of my life, because I realized that it was a once in a lifetime opportunity and I missed it because I didn't listen to myself. And that's all I got.
No, thank you, Jamal. Thank you very much. It's amazing the things, yes, they clapping for you. It's amazing the things you miss out on pleasing other people, or it's amazing the things you miss out on pleasing yourself in spite of other people. I'm gonna let that sit for a second. Miss Trinace said, my children are adults and I try to share with them the things that I have learned so that they can escape more quickly than I did. Thank you, Miss Trinace, because not all parents think that way. So thank you. Miss Yolanda, you have been patiently waiting with your hand up.
That's something that I agree with Trinace, because it's like you be trying to tell your kids so they don't do the same thing or tell them better. And then sometimes I have to fall back because mine's is hard-headed because I was hard-headed or whatnot. So, but the whole thing that's interesting to me with people pleasing is that with people pleasing being at the top, it's funny because looking at every last one of these, it's like a seed. People pleasing is the seed for the rest of it. Because with my thing with people pleasing comes with fear, lack of self-care, all of that. And it's like people pleasing was the root of every last one of those things for me. And it's crazy because I believe I started when I was younger because of fear, because of the fear of treatment that I would get from my father, or the fear of the treatment that my mother got from her own family. And she was considered the black sheep. So it was like, I don't want to be like her. I don't want to be like her. So if I do what they ask of me, I'll be fine. They'll show more love. And then even growing up in religion and stuff, it was more so if I raise my hand or if I get all the answers or if I study real hard, I'll get the attention, and nobody will pay attention to the things I didn't do or whatnot. So that carried on for years. And then it became fear as well with relationships, because it's like, if I do what they ask, they won't get mad at me. If I learned something, I don't think it's a new word, but I learned something. I never knew what it was, but it's called fawning. When people say you fight or you flight, and then you have the people that fawn. And I'm the fawner. Like I try to ease it on by or just like divert the whole situation and, just let's calm down or whatever, because I don't like confrontation. So that as well is tied into my people pleasing, because I don't want to get hit. I don't want you to yell at me. I don't want you to scream at me. I don't want you to take nothing away from me. And like knowing for me that was the seed of it all, was the people pleasing. And it's crazy how tied in it could be to just people pleasing, and how all of that can fall under people pleasing in one go. So that was interesting, because it was like everything he was listening, I was like, people pleasing. It just kept coming in my head, like that goes with it. That goes with it too. And I'm like, God dang it. Because I learned a lot. Like I've done some self-evaluation. And that's why I was really debating if I was going to come on this thing right now. I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with this right now. After getting the topic of what it was, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But I was like, shoot, at some point I have to face it. So.
Well, I'm happy that you decided to log on. I'm elated you decided to log on this evening, because again, we're family. And Antonio shared something with me that made so much sense. He said, when you don't have anybody to talk it out with, or to talk about it to, it just kind of sticks in you, and you don't have a chance to heal from it or grow from it or anything. And he created this platform so we could let it go, so we could grow, so we can talk about it. This is our safe place. And I people pleasing for me, I just wanted everybody to be happy. I didn't want anybody to hurt, because all I saw was hurt. Okay, well, let me get this for you. Hey, let me do that for you. Then it became a point where someone said, I can't remember, I just wanted to be liked. So since I want to be liked, let me do this for you. Let me do that for you. Then it went from that to, I just have a servant heart. No, just want to please people. Because if I'm pleasing you, I ain't got to worry about myself. And if I'm not worried about myself, guess what? I'm held in the matrix. Like, I'm deeply rooted. Just put me back in and give me a steak with a nice glass of wine with some cheesy mashed potatoes and some beer bread. I mean,
that's my guy in the Matrix. That is my guy.
He just wanted his steak back.
I know this isn't real, but it tastes delicious, you know.
He's like, just lie to me. Just give me the steak. I didn't know any difference when I got, just give it back to me. Let me be ignorant. People pleasing will keep you locked in, because when you start people pleasing, you don't care about your dream. You don't care about your goals. You don't care about you. You will go 6 months without a shower just to take care of somebody else. And you so busy taking care of everybody else, when you break down, you get upset when you call people and there's nobody to take care of you. People pleasing will lock you down. It will lock you down. Miss Renee and then Miss Grace.
I want to say, and a lot of times I have to be careful to not people please in my marriage with my husband, because he's my husband and I love him, and I do what I do. I help and do what I need to do as a wife, but I also have to make sure that I'm taking care of me. Can everyone hear me? Because I think
we can
Deanna
hear
froze.
you.
Oh, okay. I was like, girl, you was staying perfectly still, and I thought, man, is she frozen? Did I freeze?
No, okay. I'm not frozen. I'm here.
I was like, Jesus. I was like, wow, that was a good one. And I really have to be careful, because there are a lot of things that Jay says that really, really make a lot of great sense, because a lot of times we were talking today about finances, and he said, well, Renee, we really could use this and we really could invest it here. And I said, okay, because I literally was like, well, I want to use this for just investments. I got this money here. I want to keep it here for investments. And he said, well, Renee, here we have an investment where we could put that over here. And I said, and there was a part of me that was like, no, I wanted to stay here. But then I realized what he was saying, because money is still moving. So I was like, okay, we need to let it keep moving. But I had to be careful not to be like, where I let him, do whatever he wants to do and I don't have a voice. And I really have to be careful with that, because it's easy to do, to be like, oh, well, he's the man, I'll go ahead and let him, blah, blah, blah. And I can be keeping myself from being Renee. And it's sometimes it can be easy, and then I have to be like, wait, how about we do this instead of that? And I really have to make sure that I have my voice too, because I don't want to be just people pleasing to my husband. And not saying that Jay would do that and try to walk all over me, because that's not who he is. But I just have to make sure, I have to, make sure that I'm not just going too far to the left, going too far to the right, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
Because I still need to be true to me. I still need to make sure I'm taking care of me. And he pushes that. And he's like, make sure you're taking care of yourself, because I'm not good to anybody if Renee's not full. But it can be easy if you're not careful to fall into that path if you're not careful. But I just wanted to say that because sometimes you can lose yourself sometimes in relationships if you aren't careful, but you have to make sure that you stay true to you and make sure you're full in order to help anybody else.
No, that's wonderful. That also falls along the lines of the other ones later on down the line when Antonio said dating the wrong person and marrying the wrong person.
Yep.
So you married someone who is not going to force you to be a people pleaser, but at the same time, you've been people pleasing so long, you feel like, well, I still have to protect myself because I'm not going back to that.
Right.
So, and that's when you say you can't go too far left, can't go too far right. You're telling yourself, hey, look, we're not there anymore. Relax, listen to what he has to say. Yes. Understand what he has to say before you flip out because you thinking he trying to force you to please him. Just, just sit back and chill, Renee.
Right. Because sometimes Renee be straight tripping, boo. And it's okay, because that's my trip. You know what I'm saying? We keep praying for me, but yeah. But yeah.
No, thank you. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you very much. We got Grace, and then we have Arshia. Grace, the floor is yours.
All right. People pleasing. That is Grace. Grace is people pleasing. Listen, people pleasing for me is I don't want you disappointed in me, so I'm gonna do what you asked me to do. And to this day, I'm gonna do what you asked me to do because I don't want you disappointed in me. Ask Deanna. Ask Antonio. Okay, because he will text me, hey, I need you to do this. Okay, I'm on it. I could be doing something else. I could be doing 2-3 other things, but he texts me and say, hey, I need you to do this. Okay, cool. Them 2-3 things, and then they get on the back burner. I'm gonna get back to them, and then D may say, hey, can you do something? I sure can. And then somebody from ATS, hey, can you email me? I sure can. Yeah, all the time. Okay, so I'm still struggling, But D will put me to the side, and Antonio will too. Hey, just because I asked you to do this don't mean I need to do it right this second. I'll let you know if I need you to do it right this second, but I just want to put it on your mind that I need you to do this. But in my brain, Antonio and Deanna, hey, y'all the boss, so I got to get this done. And I tell him that all the time. I say, hey, you I see you as my boss, so I gotta get this done. And he say, I get it, but I need you to, take care of what you need to take care of, and then go and do those things. But yeah, ever since childhood, parents, hey, Grace, go do this, okay, and so ever since, so I still struggle with that, and it's just the whole disappointment thing. I don't want you to be disappointed, So that's all I got.
No, thank you. That's quite a bit. Thank you for being transparent and sharing, because these things happen. And that was a perfect example of people pleasing so much so to the point where you put everything else on the back burner. And then you forget you put it on the back burner and it get burnt. And then when you go back
that's
to
exactly
it,
what happened. That's exactly what happened. Yes.
It's too crispy.
That is what happens.
I didn't want it this crispy. I just wanted I didn't want it Cajun. I wanted it grilled. If y'all seen House Party.
Yeah, because then you get to overwhelming yourself so much to the point where that aggravation comes and you snap on somebody, and all that comes up with it, because it's like, can you do this? Yeah, sure. Can you do this? Yeah, I got you. Can you do this? Yeah, I got you. And then that fifth person that come along, you've been snapped on them or whatnot, and that's because you're too drained for anything else, and you not being able to say no. And that's something, because I feel like sometimes it's like me, no is a problem for me. Saying no, I can't. No, I don't want to. No is a serious, like I get anxiety as soon as I was like, can you do, yeah, sure. Yeah, I got you.
Now I feel you, Yolanda. Miss Trina said, "What?" I feel you, Yolanda. I used to be there. It was so hard because I wanted to please my parents so much. Every time I got a phone call or a text message, yeah, I'll be there. And I could be in the middle of something. I could be on my way on a day. I could be eating dinner. I got anxiety at the thought of saying, well, I can't do it right now because I didn't want to hear the disappointment, like Grace say, in their voice when I say I can't do it. But as Antonio has taught us, no is a sentence. And, and that no is a wonderful sentence because there's a difference between being selfish, Yolanda, and being selfish. There's a big difference in being selfish and being selfish. And you cannot take care of somebody else if you are not selfish enough to take care of you first. I learned that from Antonio. No is a wonderful sentence. And it's going Renee, I'm not fooling with you. I ain't doing it.
What I do?
I'm not doing it. She already have a problem saying no. We can't tell her to go out there and tell people hell no.
Sometimes you have to
I know that might work though. That might work though. I mean,
I say from your belly.
Yeah, I didn't touch on it a little bit. I didn't touch on it. I've been working on it and stuff and being able to say no, especially when it comes to the kids, you know, because my kids are older. So it'd be like, I do have that hell no moment with them. Oh, hell no, you know, stuff like that. But yeah.
But I get you. I get you, Miss Yolanda. I get you. We got Miss Arshia and then Trinace. Arshia, then Trinace.
For me, it was marrying the person who wants to always avoid confrontation. And it wasn't easy because me identifying, okay, he's going through this, he's working through this. But goddamn, when are you gonna be done working with some stuff? You understand? And for me, have to be strong all the time. Because when they think you're the superwoman all the time and you can figure everything else out, they forget. You understand? They think that you're their parent. They think that you're their parent without them even identifying you being their wife. That person still call me mama to this day, you know? So it's a real thing. But because I thought it was a culture thing, but so when I identified in myself, the breakdown, it trickled down to the people pleasing and it trickled down to the self-care and all that good stuff. But once like I said, people pleasing drug me to my breaking point where it wasn't no plan of me to this, okay, I'm leaving on this. No, my breaking point was me leaving. So once I got to that breaking point of me leaving, I already had it mapped out in my head for 4 or 5 years already. But I waited until I was finished with school to execute that goal. And I wanted to make sure I circled back around. But for me, once I decided that I will not allow anybody to get me that point twice, I did it twice, right? To get me to that point where it was going to cause me to get in trouble with the laws. And that's not my character, who I am. So that's why I said I had to leave that situation to get to who Arshia was. And once I decided and I discovered her again, because sometimes we lose ourselves and sometimes we cannot discover it or get back to our original self, to who we are. But once I identify who I am and what I like and what I'm doing, and that was a non-negotiable thing for anybody else gonna come in my life. I wasn't gonna change. I wasn't gonna do this unless we was aligned to do it together. But once I made that decision, all those things down the road that you had listed, I've been through all those things. And whenever you feel like you at the bottom of the gutter, sometimes you got to get to the bottom of the gutter to get to the top. So once you feel like you at the bottom of the gutter, you're stressing, you're losing hair, you're going through all this, getting the ulcers or whatever. That's when I have to feel like, oh, hell no. Even with my mother, that was my major thing. Because sometimes when you grow up, I identify with John Conaway. When my mother, she was a teen mother too, with my older brother. So it was like I was parenting her on the standpoint. And then at the back door, didn't completely heal from my traumas, from my marriages, the residue that left in those different relationships to get back to the same person that I met this person. And then the other person that my mother. So it was all mixed up in that relationship. And it was like a big ball of fire that came out silently because I didn't have an outlet. So once I got to that gutter and I was in the swamp water, that's when the spontaneous queen, that's when the bold queen, that's when I came out. But people pleasing, hell no. I used to say I wanted to get my education, my master's degree, so I can go back and help my family. I want to do this. I want to do this. F them. That's what I'm saying today. F them. Because recently my auntie was like, "Oh shit, don't you got this degree? Don't you want to be a teacher? Don't you want to do this?" Because she's thinking about the money, but she don't know she's trying to pull me back in that thing. But at the end of it all, she backdoored and had me to counsel her because she's stuck in her own situation. But they haven't experienced life outside of El Campo to even figure out what was going on. So a lot of them have, when it comes to digestion problem or even problems when taking pills, we don't even hear about people taking pills. You know, people, you always go to people overdosing and doing this. People taking pills because they can't even talk about that reality or overeating and stuff like that. I seen all that stuff in my family. But then when I decided I wanted to get out the matrix, I wanted better, then they began to try to pull me back. I remember when I was working at JCPenney, my mother had, because I was really sick, I think I had the strep throat. She had gave me some Benadryl. And you thinking, okay, I'm trusting my mother, whatever. I'm thinking like, why the hell I keep nodding and stuff? About to go to sleep. Then when I go back on, she was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't want you to work full time. I want you to be at home with me." Hell no, I ain't been at home with your ass all day looking at you. Oh no. And that's how I talked to her. So whenever it took me a long time to identify. It took me until 2019 to get out of my matrix. And when I felt the people that was putting me in no matrix, that was the fight for me. That's why I created that book. But that was a fight for me. And like I was saying one day when I did that 7-day fast, because I wanted to change my life fast. And all those stuff that I told God, and God said he's gonna give it to me. I wanted to command it. I wanted that shit for myself quickly because I deserve it. And I remember I was in that closet praying and my mother was calling my name. And I was like, hell no, mother, whatever you need, you're gonna get it without I get out of this closet. That's how serious getting out that matrix was for me. I didn't give a damn she was calling my name. I had to do better for me. So whenever you identify who's putting you in that matrix, you're gonna be pissed off and you're gonna be mad. But once you get out of it, you're gonna be powerful. I didn't mean to be this a speech, but it had to come out. It had to come out.
No, you good. You get it out. That's why we're here. Now, the topic, I've been telling y'all the hidden ways Antonio says the matrix is holding you back. The actual topic of tonight's class is how you never get out the matrix, even if you think you are. Even if you think you are. And I'm going to tell you, people pleasing, queen. The queen. And you know what I realized? Not only does people pleasing give you anxiety, stress you out, but it also makes you angry. And not even angry at the people you pleasing. It makes you angry at yourself because you don't know how the hell to say no. And you get stuck in stuff. You be like, damn, I should have said no. I should have said no right here. Right here. Because I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to show up. I was only supposed to be here for 30 minutes. It's 5 hours later. My ass should have been home. I should have said no. And then you get angry at yourself. And you take it out on the person. I'm out for that. Jamal. You angry, you're not angry at the person, you're angry at yourself. And because you've hurt yourself enough, you can't hurt yourself more than you've already hurt yourself. You start lashing out at the ones closest to you. That's why your children get it. That's why your significant other get it. That's why your siblings get it. Because we don't, excuse my verbiage, we don't have the balls to go after our parents.
Oh, I do.
Well, you
I
did. as we get older, things change. Because trust me, me and my mom and my dad have conversations, and I'll be looking at them like, "What the hell wrong with you? What was you thinking?" Yeah, as we get older, but when we're younger, when the seed has been planted and it's growing and it's thriving, and we putting fertilizer on it, making sure it got the right kind of sunlight, we are nurturing the wrong seeds, and we get upset. Because at some point, like Jamal said, at some point, that's all on you. At some point, that is all on you. But you are so nurtured in it, you don't know. Just like in one of the ways Antonio was saying was being negative and not knowing it. People pleasing is being negative.
Deanna, what about you mad because you feel like you wasted time? And you know what? When I asked my partner, what is our vision of this marriage? And he said, I don't know. What the fuck I'm in here for? That's what I was thinking. What the fuck I'm here for? Deuces. You know? You wasted my time. My time is my money.
But Arshia, we so locked into the matrix. In the matrix, you're supposed to grow up, go to school, graduate high school, go to college, get a degree, find a husband or a wife, buy your house and your cars, have 2.5 kids and 1 dog. So we don't think
2.5.
Perfect.
How is that supposed to work? 2.5. Okay.
You got
half on a baby.
You got one in the oven. That's the half.
Half on a baby.
Okay.
But that's the matrix. So when you ask your partner that question, he don't know because he in the matrix. How many of y'all actually got married? When you first got married, you knew where y'all was going to be in the next 5 years. No. You knew this is what you were supposed to do because those are the steps of the matrix. But when you start thinking outside the matrix, you start thinking differently. That's where dating and marrying the wrong person come in. Religion, excuses, lack of self-care, all of that. I had a plan and he messed. Ain't fooling with you, Quincy. Ain't doing it. Prophet, go ahead.
You know, it's very important that you said that because I had in the former marriage, I was told you marry that rat, you stay with that rat. In other words, to death do you.
Wait a minute. Say it again, baby. Say it again.
You marry that rat, you stay with that rat. Yes. This is how religion would get you all fucked up. Excuse me. And I stayed in a 9-year relationship when I shouldn't have. When I knew she was cheating from the beginning, I should have stepped. But I pleased my pastor. I pleased. Now, from the beginning, because I have the gift of seeing and had the gift of knowing things from the beginning. I wasn't supposed to get married to her, but because of she took my virginity, I fell in lust and not in love. And she blew my mind.
You was whooped.
Yes, I was whipped. At 27 years old, got whipped because I saved myself because it was told to save yourself till you got married. I mean, I dibbled and dabbled in things, but I never penetrated until I was 27. Okay. So 27, and the first blowjob I got blew my mind. So, and that was from her. So, I thought I was in love. And because of religion and because of the pastor said, you married that rat, you stay with that rat, I was in a 9-year relationship pleasing folk. But then when it got to the point where she didn't want me no more after I got paralyzed, so I wasn't no more good to her. She didn't want me no more. So I found somebody else. And then she wants to cry of divorce. I said, well, you pay for it because I'm not paying for it. I don't believe in it because of religion. But then it got to the point she got, I'm going to get to divorce. So it got to the point I gave her the divorce that she wanted. And in the midst of that, still pleasing folk and being damaged. But now I'm better because I got my Beyonce.
Come on now.
Oh, I feel so special.
Can I say something to the people who don't know how to say no?
Go ahead, Miss Trinae.
So look, I used to didn't want to say no because I didn't want to hurt other people. And you're right, you do end up hurting yourself. But the more you say no to other people, that's how often you say yes to yourself. When I learned how to say, the first time I said no, that I didn't want to do something, and I didn't say why, they were like, why? I was like, oh, I don't feel like it. I was like, dang, that came out of my mouth, and I just felt so good, and I wasn't doing nothing. I just didn't want to do that. So I would say, when you don't, those people who don't know how to say no, and see how good you feel about it. And then try no another time. And then try no another time. It's just like medicine. It's just like medicine. Because the thing is, if you giving things to everybody else, you don't have nothing for you. You don't have, and then when you constantly saying yes, eventually you don't have anything else to give to them except for your rage. So say no. Please say no.
Thank you, Miss Trinae.
Thank you.
Yeah, I say something right quick.
Yes, and then we have Miss Trinae. I'm sorry, Miss Tracy.
I was Miss Tracy, you want to go first? You want to go first? I can
Go ahead.
Okay. I was thinking about Prophet Jared, and I understand, man, because look, when I met my wife, I met her on a Saturday, proposed to her Sunday, and married her the following Saturday. And you talk about whoop, boy, I was on the hook like a big mouth bass flapping around, boy. I mean, whooped, and I knew I was in trouble a couple of days after it was something, because, hey, she was sweet as apple pie, boy, sugar and spice and everything nice before the I do's. Now, after the I do, okay, that was a whole nother creature right there. And I was like, whoa. I can remember to this day, the first thing I said, God, what have I got myself into? And my grandmother always told me, she said, son, you make your bed, you got to sleep in it. So, hey, I'm going with all, them down south old folks term and everything. And yes, I stayed in that relationship a long time, went through all kind of unimaginable stuff, boy, especially when she got to the States. And I could tell you, man, when I finally, I went through a whole lot of stuff, and there was a lot of things because of religion. Now, I'm not going to just say it's because of religion, because I didn't have all the confidence in the world. Yes, I had low self-esteem in there too, but a lot of things, because I grew up in church. I was in church, and I was going by, hey, for better or for worse and to death, sickness and health and all of that, and it was like the church thing was like every time something had happened where I knew I should be getting out of this, because it was like one of the most dysfunctional relationships, but neither one of us had any sense to get out of it. Because I think the first 10 years, if I remember correct, of the marriage, she asked me for a divorce every 90 days for the first 10 years. And it was like I didn't get the hint. And I was like, when I look back on it now, I was like, damn, and what was it, last Monday? My divorce was final after 38 years.
Congratulations.
And I was like, and I had the nerve to call the lawyer back because I didn't realize it was done. The judge said everything. I called the lawyer back, said, hey, I said, don't we got a couple more steps of this to go? And my lawyer came back. She said, John, you're divorced. I said, oh, she said, didn't you listen to the judge? I said, oh, I didn't know. I said, it's been a long time, but it's finally final. And I sat down and think about that. And I'm gonna get out your way, Miss Tracy. I sat down and think about that. And I was like, wow. I said, the thing that somebody asked me, how do you feel? But I said, I don't feel sadness, nor do I feel joy. But the one thing that I did pay attention to is that I came up in a lot of drama and trauma and issues and this and that. When I finally realized that the divorce was final, I finally realized that the last attachment to my past was done. Now I have no more attachments to my past. There's no excuse now for me not to move forward or to do what I need to do or to live a better life, because everything in my past, all of my family has passed away. They've gone home. And she was the last thing of that drama and trauma era that I was still attached to. So now there's no more attachment. And I'm like, wow, it's almost like I don't know what to do with myself, but I'm gonna figure it out. But it's like, wow. But I understand you, Brother Jerry. I understand you. I just wanted to say that right quick. It's a good feeling, man, when you're not attached to your past no more. I don't have no excuse to say, oh, because of this, oh, I can't do this because of her. I don't have that anymore now. Now I'm free. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. I'm free at last.
Reasonably priced.
That's a wonderful way to end that. Free at last. I would say, look, I noticed something. A lot of the things that like personal belongings and people that you hold on to, when that part of your life has ended, you start noticing how they start falling off. How stuff in your house that you held on to from this particular relationship start breaking, or it gets lost, or it just gets disconnected, or there like something happens. And that's when I have vibrated out of that situation. So anything attached to that situation has to break, fall off. Okay, Miss Trinace, be careful, be safe. That part of everything attached to that part of your life is either breaking, falling apart, people falling off. You'll even have people come at you mad and make lies about you for no reason because they're falling off. So be mindful. When stuff in your house start breaking and you pick it up like, man, that was my favorite cup. Think about what's attached to that cup. Think about what's attached to that person, and think about where you are in your life, and understand, let it break. Let them fall off, because that lets you know that you're on your way out the matrix. Again, today's title is How You Never Get Out the Matrix, even if you think you are. Even if you think you are. Now, I counted, and there are, I'm going to count them out loud for y'all. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 hidden ways. Antonio says the matrix is holding you back, and we still on the first one, which was people pleasing. When you realize you're holding yourself back by not saying no, or pleasing or trying to please somebody so much where you forget about you, you are keeping yourself in the box, in the matrix. You decided you wanted the blue pill instead of the red pill. You decided that on this day, that steak was better than that steak was better than waking up. Now, I tell you, steaks are good, but they're not that good. They're not good enough to keep me asleep. I like some steak and potatoes every now and then, but I'm not trying to stay asleep. I'm tired of being asleep. But one thing Antonio used to tell me, and I know Grace is going to remember this. You're doing better than you were yesterday. You may still be in the grave that you dug for yourself. You may still be dirty from the dirt that was on top of you, but guess what? You out the grave. You may still be in the graveyard, but you're out the grave. So go and make your way out the graveyard, get past the gate, get to the street, find you a nice place, take you a nice hot shower, clean it off of you, go get you a good meal because you've been dead for so long. But you are here because you have moved the dirt from around you. You have stepped out of the grave, and now all you're doing is dusting the dirt off. You're still a little dirty, but you out the grave. So congratulate yourself for being out the grave. The fact that you could recognize that you are a people pleaser is a good step, because that falls in line with what number? I can't remember what number it was, but Antonio said the idea of being a good person, because when you people pleasing, you thinking you're a good person, when in all actuality, you not. You just holding back how you really feel.
That's third.
Thank you, Grace. Excuses. Well, if I don't take care of you, nothing else gets taken care of. Or no, I gotta do this, because I love this person, or I just want you to be happy, or I don't want to disappoint you. That's an excuse. Your religion. I've heard I was told I had to get married. I was told this, I was told that. My pastor said. Now for your pastor to call the young lady a rat, that's a lot. That's a lot.
She likes a lot of cheese.
And then taking care of too many people, that's people pleasing. And it keeps you where you are. And let's take it even further. When you people pleasing, it's because, like Yolanda said earlier, people pleasing, all of them, they're actually all together, and in some shape, form, or fashion, we're doing them all. So imagine what it's doing in your intimate relationships, not your personal relationships, your intimate relationships. You so busy people pleasing everyone else. You so busy in fear of not taking care and pleasing everybody else, and you thinking you a good person. But what happens in your personal relationships? When you're taking care of too many people, where does that leave you? And I'm skipping down to number 22. When you're taking care of too many people, where does that leave you in your relationship? You cannot. I'm going to share something with y'all that my grandmother told me. And when she told me this, I was like, I wanted to say something, but I respect her too much. But I wanted to talk to her like I was talking to one of my girlfriends. Y'all know what I mean. But she said her mama taught her, if you so busy, worried about what's going on in somebody else's house, how you gonna keep your house clean? If you so busy taking care of everybody else, how you gonna take care of your household? And then you get upset when your significant other brings up to you that they feel neglected, that they feel like they're not in a relationship, that they feel like you care about others more than you care about the relationship. And then you get angry and lash out at them when you're angry, all because they're bringing something to you that you know to be true. You just don't feel like addressing it. And mind you, this is both sides of the fence. I'm talking about women taking care of too many people and not taking care of your husband, and husbands taking care of too many people and not taking care of your wives. It goes both ways. There is no gender favoritism here. I've seen it from both sides of the fence. What do you think that's doing to your relationship? Because it's definitely keeping you in the matrix. Because if you're not being authentic, if you're not taking care of yourself because you're pouring out to so many other people, you lack self-care. And when you lack self-care, when it comes to an intimate moment with your significant other, you're not going to want to be touched because you feel in a certain kind of way. How you think that make them feel? So let's touch on this. Let's open this up. How has taking care of too many people kept you in the matrix? How has it affected your life? How has it affected you? And I'm looking at everybody here, and I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm not gonna put that on y'all. Y'all not like that. Y'all don't take care of too many people. Y'all focus on y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves. I see I got two heads on top. But how has taking care of too many people kept you stuck where you are with no growth, damaged, and you allowed it to damage not only you, but your relationship with your significant other, your relationship with your children, and your relationship with yourself? I got 5 hands. Okay, so we're gonna wait, I missed a hand. So we got Arshia, Prophet,
Don't forget Miss
Yolanda,
Tracy.
Renee, Damali, and John. Tracy, did you raise your hand? You know what?
Wait a minute. I know I sent you a message, said you could skip it because this was not me. Like I was gonna say me and Trinace kind of on the same page when she was on, because like I did the whole people pleasing, went to school, graduated, went to college, graduated, did all that stuff, and then I got out of college and I didn't do anything my family wanted me to do. Like pleasing my mama, so that's how come me and my mama bump heads so much, because I'm not trying to please them. And the issue, and like you're talking about taking care of too many people, and I really can't talk about that because I do me. I take care of me. But the backlash to not being a people pleaser is family has talked about me being selfish, or I only think about myself, or those types of things, because if I want to go take.
She froze.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let me know when she come back in so we can bring her back up. Cause she said that ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't please nobody. I did what I was supposed to do. Y'all on. There she go. Go ahead and finish. You froze on us for a second.
I had a feeling I was frozen. All I'm saying is, I was saying that's how come some of my family and I don't necessarily get along.
Oh, she froze again. She got a word. The internet is like, nope, not tonight. Not tonight, Tracy. Because she got a word for y'all. Oh, she's still frozen. Okay. So this is the order. We have Arshia, Prophet. Oh, there you go, Miss Tracy. You want to finish? Yeah. Your internet saying you speaking too much truth. Tracy speaking too much truth. So we have Arshia, then Prophet, then Miss Yolanda, Renee, then Damali.
This topic is top heavy. That's why the internet is messing up. No, for me, I remember being a newlywed in my relationship, being heavy in the church, and the pastor wanted me to be her PA. Me being young, that was cute at first, but I had to let her know that I don't want to be the PA. I wasn't built to be your PA. She needs to have somebody older and seasoned to be the PA, not somebody that's a newlywed. Because for me being in the church and focusing on what the church duties and being in different 5 positions, that was going to take a lot of focus off my partner at that time. And then it was a lot of added stuff. I knew it wasn't in that PA description. She was adding in there. And I was like, I can't do it because I'm going to start looking at you as the pastor and be mad because the things that you asking me to do is not in that description. But then also we have to remember too, is I was going to school a lot too. So sometimes me focusing on this thing can take the focus off the partner as well if the partner is not understanding what y'all trying to do as a team. And for me, when it comes to my family, my mother, any outside can't tell me anything about my partner. So I didn't allow that influence to influence my marriage at that time. But I seen it from the standpoint was that religion that took control and that influence took control of his life. And then him being in the church deep too. And then you know how you put on the front and then when you get into it, he change and stuff like that. But then allowing the friends to influence how you be intimate, how you be with your partner is a big deal too. Because if your partner is not your cheerleader or supporting you when it comes to business or anything like that, but then you backdoor and support your partner, support somebody else too, it allows that frequency, that frequency to get in that relationship and also cause a lot of other stuff to go in there too. So I got it off of both ends. But when I identify with like, okay, I'm gonna back up from the church and I'm gonna limit how much time I'm gonna spend in my school to put in this nutrients. But when you don't build that foundation on, okay, we working towards this, and somebody else trying to always figure it out, then you're gonna see the effects from you're not coming together as a team. So I felt both sides of that. And being a partner, you being married or in a partnership, you don't have a guidebook, you don't have a playbook on how to be married. You don't know until you experience those things. You don't get sometimes you don't even get a redo sometimes. But when you do get a chance to redo, be appreciative because people don't have to backdoor and allow you to come in their life. People don't have to allow you to do things for them. Because sometimes when people think that they own you because you have a piece of paper, in the mix of it. But I experienced it from both ends. But one side, like I said, one side decided, okay, my breaking point and what I'm not gonna um settle for this, that's when I have to get out of there because I really felt it. Because sometimes you don't, a woman, I know for me, speaking for me, sometimes they don't talk about going to bed, being with your partner, going to bed and still feeling like you single or you feeling lonely. People don't talk about that. And sometimes the pastor will instruct you to be with this man because they're making a certain type of figure. But on the inside, you the one dealing with all this stuff, going to bed crying, and you sleeping with this person, and they not even giving you anything, and they don't even have nothing to give to you. You understand? But when their friends or family come, it's like a show. So that's why I don't sugarcoat things, and I ain't got time for the bullshit. So that's why I told my pastor, look, I ain't got time to be your PA. I ain't got time for it because what you showing me when you at your house And when you show me on the pulpit, it don't add up and it's scary. So don't ask me to be a PA now. Don't ask me to be the PA. But I felt both sides of it, and it took a little while for me to get out of that hole. It takes a while to get out of that hole, but once you get out of that hole and you add substance to yourself and you start loving yourself, you're not going to want to be in the bottom of that gutter or that hole anymore.
Thank you, Arshia. Thank you for your transparency. I keep hearing the same theme. Therefore, along with taking care of too many people, I want to throw religion into this. The hidden ways Antonio says the matrix is holding you back is religion and taking care of too many people. I would love your thoughts on this because Arshia has said it, Prophet said it. I heard a couple of other people put it in there too, where the church did this, or I'm working at the church and I'm giving all my church, and earlier I think someone said we spent every day in the church. Like that was Monday through Sunday. We was at the church. And I really
I would like to because I was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday choir practice, Wednesday Bible study, Thursday some other Bible, some extracurricular Bible study class. I was at church 3 or 4 times a week growing up, and I think that for me now that I've learned a few things outside of Christianity, I feel like the biggest part of that, the biggest drive for religion for me that keeps you in the matrix is the external focus. It's focusing on an external God and not focusing on the God in you. I think that we leave so much of our power in the hands of an outward being, of an external being, that we don't hold ourselves accountable and believe that we have the power to do everything that we have the power to do. And I know that for me, that's been a big part of the matrix for me. Just too outwardly focused and not focusing on me and my own power and my own control.
And how has taking that power back helped you, as far as, if you don't mind me asking, how has taking that power back helped you as far as your family and taking care of too many people and your personal relationship? Like once you pulled that power back, how has that helped?
Well, it's
If you don't, you don't have to answer. If you don't mind me asking,
I'm gonna answer it. So it's put me in a state of forcing me to understand me and really understanding what I want. And because my whole life has been a lot of external influences and a lot of external structures. I've spoken about this before. And, I've always had something in front of me saying, this is what you're about to do. This is what you need to do. And now that I'm more internally focused, I find myself struggling because I don't really know me. I've always been directed by everything external and never been directed by internal, like ever, until like the last 2-3 years. Like it's always been external expectations, what I should be doing, what I'm expected to do. And I haven't been happy doing that. And now that I'm kind of stepping back and just trying to figure out me and what I really want in my life, what I really want to do every day with my life and how I want to impact the world, I feel more light, I feel more free, and I'm more happy, but I'm still trying to figure it out.
Well, first off, I congratulate you for being at the point where you figuring it out, because it takes us all a while to get there. Trust me, personal experience. It take a while to get to that point. But I want to congratulate you for that, and I want to thank you so much for your transparency, because I'm sure you just helped somebody, because you're not the only one that's trying to figure it out. I'm sure you helped somebody. Okay, and Grace, can you do me a favor? Can you pull up 1 John chapter 4, verse 4? Thank you very much. And while you pulling that up again, thank you so much to Molly. While Grace is pulling that up, Prophet.
Yeah, I'm so glad that now it's just me and the queen, so I ain't gotta take care of nobody but her. But not her, but her. And it's to the point nobody comes in here and nobody's gonna take over. Now, in the former marriage, Deanna, we had these talks. Being so-called being so Christian, having people stay with us to where I'm trying to be careful of my words.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You felt it.
I'm trying to be careful with my words. But having other lovers living in the home, I don't get my attention. I'm just the protector, the bill payer, the everything, but everybody else doing their own thing. Sometimes you get to the point where you taking care of others and you don't get care of yourself. You get to the point where you want to commit suicide. You get to the point of saying, what's the use? Because my needs are not being taken care of. I'm tired of having these threesomes. I'm tired of having these foursomes and all this crazy mess. I just want my wife back. And you end up getting to the point where you end up just leaving. End up leaving. When you leave, you just need some peace, because you don't have peace in the home because so much is going on. You got 2-3 people in your bed, and then children running around acting a fool, and you got to go to a hotel just to get peace. But then you're accused of being at the hotel sleeping with somebody, but you just wanted some peace. So I'm glad that that experience happened for a reason, because I don't have to bring that to this one, to my Beyonce now. I don't have to bring that to her. And she ain't even having it anyway. If I even thought about a threesome, she ain't.
I'm looking at her face right now. she look like you ain't midnight.
She already told me I'm not holding out on her drought. She's like, I'm not gonna have her drought. So, I know she ain't gonna want no other no other person. So, but I learned so much out of that former relationship to where I'm carrying a better person of me and expressing myself and opening up. Because when you don't open up, you still pleasing people when you don't open up.
Yeah.
You still pleasing people when you don't open up and you don't say nothing. But then when you have a nervous breakdown or you try to commit suicide and it ends up happening, then the people's like, what happened? They don't know what happened because you did not open up. So I'm glad that I can open up to the queen and she can open up to me and nobody else have nothing else to say about it.
Amen. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you. And before Grace shares her screen, I've learned personally that when you're taking care of too many people, it leaves no time for you. And when you don't have time for you, you get angry at the people closest to you because you put an expectation on them that is not fair to them. You're expecting them to understand, I have to take care of all these people. When you made a vow or you promised to take care of them, you can't take care of providers need help because they are providers. You can't help a provider if you busy taking care of too many people. And then you taking care of the people that don't deserve your time, don't deserve your energy, don't deserve your affection. Now, everybody deserves grace and mercy, and I'm learning that one. Trust me. Everybody deserves grace, mercy, and forgiveness. But that grace, mercy, and forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. So have grace, have mercy, and forgiveness when you say, I cannot do it right now because I have a home to take care of. Be careful. Don't take care of so many other people where your household suffers, the household you're responsible for. Whether you're the provider or the helpmate, you are still responsible. Don't take care of so many people where you can't even take care of your own household. I'm sure a few of you have experience where your parents are so busy taking care of everybody else that you remember the lights getting cut off at the house. You remember you not having enough food, but you just saw your parents go buy groceries for the Johnsons down the street. You want to hug your family, you want to hug your mama or your daddy, but they too tired because they just got through helping somebody else. It's the little things. It's the little things. Now, Grace, if you can go ahead and share your screen, if you 1 John chapter 4, verse 4. And this is being, I'm sharing this because of what Damali said. Damali, if you are available. Okay.
Okay. I'm here, D.
Okay. This is to show you, Damali, how what you just said is actually in the Bible. 1 John chapter 4, verse 4. Little children, you are from God and have overcome them. For he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. Damali was saying she was so busy focusing on the external that she didn't focus on the internal. And when she started focusing on the internal, things got better. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Antonio helped me out with that. I know stories. I don't know verses. That fig tree story get me every time.
That's it. Listen.
Walked up to that fig tree, wasn't no fruit. Say, man, I will curse you. You look fruitful from a distance, but when I come up to you, you are barren. I was like, oh my. And I did ask myself that question, Father, am I the barren tree that looks fruitful from a distance? And I started,
Watch yourself.
Well, that's when I went internal. And I was like, okay, Deanna, where your fruit? Is you barren? Or is you, because where your fruit? I started asking these questions. When something hits you like that, you got to start thinking some things. So I started going internally. Like Damali said, I started going internal. Okay, so where your fruit? Okay. You look like you got fruit here, but Deanna, you really ain't got no fruit right now.
And let me add to that, Deanna, because the other verse that really gets me when you really sit and think about it is when Jesus himself said, I'm gonna give you somebody greater. I'm gonna send you something greater that's gonna be with you, that's gonna be within you. So we, I'm busy yelling Jesus, 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 and Jesus is like, hey, bro. Hey, sis, I already sent you somebody greater that's already dwelling within you. If you can just shut up and be still and listen to what's going on inside, I'm already there. My spirit's already there. The spirit that you're seeking is already in you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, oh, Lord, help me. Oh, Father,
and he telling
help yourself. Help yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, just those things, like just being so that whole spirit of woe is me, and I need a savior, and save yourself, basically.
Mm.
Just I don't subscribe to.
Shh. Y'all heard what she said. Look, and Damala Yolanda said, I just said that at church yesterday. Go ahead, Miss Yolanda. The floor is yours. You are next up.
It's crazy because it's like what you just said or whatnot about where's your fruit, where's your harvest, where is it? I literally just said that at our Bible study thing yesterday in our Connect group. And it shocks me because even with the stuff that you're saying, the inside, and it's just, I'm like at all right now because the fact that I talked about this yesterday lets me know that I'm on the right path of thinking, that I'm having to check my harvest, check my heart and the inside of me because of realizing a lot of stuff, even with marriage and giving too much of myself to everybody else. And then getting to that point where the resentment towards my husband, not feeling like, oh, well, you're not helping me or you're not doing this. And then realizing the fact of I'm giving all to everybody. I'm not giving to myself, but then I'm expecting God to do something, but I'm not even showing any harvest in the inside of me of how much I love and care for him. It's more so of like that show. Oh, I praise, I worship. What do you call it? Like, because I praise and I worship and because I do this and do this for people. And because, like you said, of being a good person or whatnot, aren't I supposed to receive these things from you, Father? Aren't you supposed to help me with this and this and that? When it's like, really check your harvest, baby. Check the inside of your heart right quick. Because what are you really doing? And then it's like, even with the marriage situation, even like when Antonio had said something before last time when we was talking about it and stuff, I realized, even in therapy, I realized, did I really have my hand open to him? As far as, did I make him feel like he was a provider for me? Did I give him even the opportunity to provide? And then not only that, am I sharing the inside of me with my partner? Like Prophet said, ain't nobody knowing what's wrong with you until you have a nervous breakdown or until you go kill yourself because you're keeping it all inside and all of that. And then that causes division in the inside. And then not only that, at church, trying to do everything at church and, oh, I can do it, I can do this, I can do that. And it's like, for me, I feel like everything was a front. Everything was a complete front. And it's like really having to check the inside of me, because it is true, great is he who is in me, period. And like you said, he gave us a help that is greater than, so what you doing? So it's like, all that, hearing all of that or whatever, it just blows my mind at these moments, because literally to hear that from yesterday and then hear this again, it's like checking, like, and then me being stuck here at the house, can't go nowhere.
So you ain't got no choice but to
I ain't got no choice but to start checking that harvest and looking in the inside of me. But it's crazy though, because it all, like, it's just crazy how all this stuff intertwines with each other. And that just blows my mind, especially that lets me know that I'm like in alignment with something.
Now, thank you. Thank you, Yolanda, for your transparency. And thank you, Damali, for your transparency that led to Yolanda's transparency. I tell y'all one thing, that story about that fig tree scares the hell out of me. Because that's part of the negativity, lack of self-care, the idea of being a good person. The idea of being a good person will make that fig tree from a distance look like it's real fruitful. But when you get up on it, it's like, wait, what's that? What a fruit. Anyway, that story, it really does scare the hell out of me. And it really makes you think. it really makes you think. It's like, am I fruitful? Or am I so inauthentic that I appear fruitful, but deep down inside I'm barren? And I don't know about y'all, but when I actually examined that story and I did some self-examination myself, I was like, ooh, girl, you barren? I'm gonna need you to work on that. Because that barren feeling is not good. That barren feeling leaves you making excuses all day, every day. That barren feeling has you not taking care of yourself. You just sleep and you stay in bed all day because your depression set in because you barren inside. You surround yourself with people who are complacent because you're barren inside, and because they're complacent, it makes you look like a good person. All like Yolanda said, all of it is connected. Yolanda, I don't either. I don't either. That story scares the hell out of me. Every time Antonio tell me, check your harvest, I think about that damn tree. Every time.
You know what's funny, Deanna? Not even the harvest, isn't it? And when he first said it, I'm thinking harvest like in my kids and you know, my harvest in my kids, what growing at the church, what I'm doing on praise and worship team, how am I singing, am I growing spiritually like that? And it's actually the harvest inside of me. Like, what, yo, that's like a whole nother different, like I'm looking at the wrong harvest. Hold up, wait a minute. I don't want to shrivel up. I don't want to.
Beyonce has a song. It's the most beautiful song ever. I'm trying, let me see if I can get the name of it so I can tell y'all, because when you listen to the song, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I understand. And it's from the Lion King album. It's from the Lion King album. It's the very first one on there, the gold album, not the black one. And it's called Bigger. And there's a line in there where she says, I am the root. You are the tree. And every time she say that, I think about my kid. I'm like, dang, if I'm the root and you the tree, I ain't got no damn harvest. So what am I doing to you? That story scares the hell out of me. Because if I don't have a harvest, what am I doing to other people? I'm drawing hungry people in with nothing to feed them.
Girl, you are talking.
Shoot. Wow.
That I tell y'all, that story scared the hell out of me. Yes, we will have a continuance of this class. Yes, ma'am, to recover to cover the remaining items on the list. Yes, Miss Fabby, we will. Yes, we will. Trust and believe, because there's quite a few of them. And the more we understand and the more we talk about it, the more we also know we're not alone. And to hear somebody else tell you their story, it's like, okay, I'm not alone. Man, she went through the same thing. How she over there looking all bright and shiny, and I'm over here suffering. And next week begins forgiveness, and all of this is in that. Oh. Bless y'all. Because just hit me. I'm a Miss Renee, you next, then Tracy, but I'm gonna say this to y'all because I want y'all to feel what just hit me. Forgiveness begins next week. These things are in that. You have to forgive yourself for all of this. It's easy for us to say, I forgive you, Jerome. I forgive you, Jerome.
It's hard as shit.
I believe, I forgive you, Queen. I love you. But it's hard to say.
It's hard, very hard. Yourself. Grace, I forgive you, girl.
Man, look. No, you shouldn't have did it. You knew better. How you gonna do something like that? You see how you got them feeling? You hurt their feelings because you feeling some kind of way. And you gotta say, I forgive you, Deanna, for your negativity. I forgive you, Deanna, for being a dreamer with no action. I forgive you, Deanna, for being negative and not knowing it. I forgive you, Deanna, for being inauthentic. I forgive you for dating the wrong person. I forgive you for marrying the wrong person. You know how hard it is? Especially when you put in decades. Not a couple of years, but some decades. You see that I should forget that. I done wasted 20 years of my life. I could have been doing something else. It's hard to forgive yourself. That when Antonio said next week begins forgiveness, and all of this is in it, because you have to forgive yourself for not taking care of yourself. Okay, Renee, the floor is yours. And then after Renee, Miss Tracy, the floor is yours.
Oh, damn. What do you expect me to do now, Deanna? I could say this is when I was single and I was always doing something in somebody else's house. I was always quick to go to somebody if it was like, okay, we need to go over here. And I was always one of the reliable few or whatever, and I would go. And I really didn't have any issues with it. But of course, that I do think that where I was going to church did make me definitely into a people pleaser. I mean, even more so because I already was. But I really, really bumped heads. I say this, I really bumped heads with my pastor when I met Jay. I really bumped heads with him for the first time in the 7 years that I had went to that I was at my church. I was at my old church, but I bumped heads with him because I don't think he didn't want me with him. But I literally defied everything that he said to me and left anyway. But I'm at a point to where now, of course, I like to help out my pastor where I'm at now, but I'm also not about to leave my husband and be like, because a lot of times he'll come with me and he'll help around because I'm like, we a package deal. I'm not trying to have anybody, my husband's very good looking. I ain't trying to have anybody around here trying to put in their bids for him because I done kissed too many frogs in order to get that king. And I ain't letting somebody else kiss up on them. So I try to make sure that, I help my pastor and stuff out, but there is a limit for me because I can't do everything. I can't be, I'm like, you got family, you can do that. And I love my pastor, but I also cannot take my attention away from the man where I have his last name. So I got to take care of home first. If we are able to help out and do other things and commune with our pastor, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I will not neglect my house because it was different when I was single. I think I just was, it was easy for me to go and I went and did stuff, but it's not even important to me. What was important then is definitely not important to me now. What's important to me now is home, my husband, and of course taking over the world. And and always trying to do it before the lights come back up. You know what I'm saying? Like Pinky in the Brain, Pinky. So that's what's really important to me now. I still want to be, I'm still active in my church, still doing, but home is more so. So I think, you know what I'm saying, you really have to break the rules sometimes, some type of way, even if it comes down to doing something that they don't agree with, as long as you're cool with it, and as long as I feel like what you're supposed to do. And sometimes it's going to be met with a lot of friction at times. But I think if I would have stayed where I was in Georgia, there ain't no way I would be here. Ain't no way I'll be on this telephone call with you guys, because sometimes you just got to go ahead and burn those bridges. And sometimes you just got to be a disappointment to somebody, because otherwise you'll be pleasing forever. And that's where I was. So I'm grateful, at least I got here. I'm still trying to break out even more people pleasing, but what I'm saying, be proud, Deanna, because I literally jumped up and went to the room and I said, Jay, no, no, no. And I jumped up and down and I said no again. And he didn't ask me nothing. But yeah, sometimes you just have to be free to say no. So
She said no.
I'm right.
She said no for the future. I'm gonna ask her something tomorrow. So she said no tonight. I ain't gonna be able to ask her.
I'll say no tomorrow too. But yeah, I don't really do so much outside of home now. I'm too busy trying to build an empire with Prophet Jay. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I ain't really trying to please every people. I'm not really caring. I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do. That's it.
I'm gonna say this and we're gonna pass it over to Miss Tracy. When you respect the head of the household, everybody else has no choice but to respect the head of the household.
You're right about it. Mm-hmm. You disrespect him, you don't want to see that other side. I try to be nice, Deanna. I really am nice sometimes, but you come up against him, the Akron comes out, and I'm no longer liable for what happens after that.
It becomes a two-piece with a biscuit, some French fries, and a strawberry Coke. I understand.
And in the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Thank you so much, Renee. Thank you for your transparency. Miss Tracy, you actually are going to have our final words of the evening. Go on and grace us with your voice.
Hello. Well, I had to switch to another device because I didn't want my internet breaking up. Now, you just said something about how when we share and we hear other people's stories and we see other people and we think, okay, we wouldn't have never thought that they went through whatever situations they went through. Now, and I'm just going to say this, Queen Chi is on tonight, and I did an interview, my interview with Queen Chi for the What's Your Mess. In this interview, and I'm just going to say, I never would have thought, like I see Queen Chi and I see, she's so beautiful and just, wear her crown and, doing big things. And as we were going through the interview, and I hope she don't mind me sharing, but we talked about, it's ironic. She talked about being a people pleaser. We literally had this interview yesterday. We did people pleasing. And then she talked about her mother and how and the reason I'm saying is because I never would have expected she went through a lot of the same things I went through. We said it earlier about somebody said about being seen and not heard. Same thing. I heard it. She heard it. Other people have heard it. We talked about, it's just ironic that a lot of these things we talked about always trying to live up to other people's expectations and never really doing your own thing because you don't want to disappoint people. And I'm just saying this because when I heard her story yesterday, I never would have thought that we had so many situations in common and to sit back and say, hey, you know what? We went through a lot of the same things, and you never really look at other people. Like you look at some people, you might put them up on a pedestal sometime. And then when you really get to know some of their story, you're like, man, we went through the same situations. And so you mentioned that just now, and I kind of wanted to throw that out. I didn't know it was gonna be the last word. But
no, that's wonderful. And I thank you for sharing that. You just further solidified why Jerome just complimented you, Mr. Smith. Tracy, you just further solidified the importance of not just this call, but being your authentic self. Because when you are your authentic self, you save lives. The greatest thing Antonio ever taught me was Me Too. I told this story this morning, so I'm gonna share with you guys. When I finalized the divorce with my ex-husband, mind you, I knew it was over. But when you with someone for so long, you still feel some kind of way after so long, and it's like, it's done. But I walked into the office,
It's like mourning a death.
Girl, look, I hopped in the car, I'm driving like, yeah, I get to the office, I get out there, and as I start walking up the ramp to get to the office, it just kind of started weighing on me. And so I walked to the other part of the office. Grace came in, and Antonio came in. Grace hugged me, and she just sat there with me. And then when Antonio came in, Grace left. And Antonio sat there. He said, I don't have a lecture for you. I'm not even here to talk to you. I just want to say me too. Me too is the greatest thing you can say because it will save somebody's life because you're letting them know, Queen Chi, you're not alone. Yolanda, you're not suffering by yourself. Tracy, I've been through that before and I made it out. So let me help you. Frida, you don't have to walk by yourself. I got you. I've been there, done that, got through it. So let me be the strength and the light that shows you the way out. So Tracy, I thank you for sharing that because you further explained the importance of this platform and why it's a safe place. Because without a safe place to be able to express these things, it's no telling how many of us are dead inside because we've held so much in and we think we're suffering alone, only to come to a place where we're hearing over 20 people say, no, me too. I've been divorced too. I've been abused too. I've hated myself too.
Me too.
See? He had me effed up too. She had me effed up. They all had me. Forget them all. Me too, girl. I told my family the same thing. Me too goes a long way. Man, today I had a bad day. Me too. So Tracy, I thank you for sharing and being transparent. I thank all of you for sharing and for being transparent because that's a part of the matrix that is holding you back, inauthenticity. Me and authenticity were best friends for a long time. I just separated from her like a couple of years ago. She mad, but she'll be all right. She'll be all right. She good. Where she at? Because I can't go back to her. Because she's hurt. She hurts. Antonio, he told me one day, he said, isn't it tired? He said, I know you tired. What you talking about? He said, I know you tired of being somebody you not. And I looked at him and I laughed. And Grace, you know what I was saying in my head, right? You don't know me. But y'all, it's tired. It's tiring being somebody you not. Because when it's exhausting. Because when you not who you supposed to be, your soul hurts because you killing other people because you not telling them what you were supposed to do. What you go through is not for you. It took me a long time to learn that. You go through what you go through so you can save the life of somebody else. So the moment you decide to be authentic is the moment you change your life. My parents just laugh at me now. They really do. Because I just say it. Mama, no, you tripping. Daddy, I love you, but don't do that. Yes. Yes, Queen Renee. Your storm can help someone else through theirs. There's a story that Antonio told me, then we shutting it down, y'all. It's 8:39 on a Friday. I know some of y'all tired. Y'all been dealing with kids all day. Y'all tired. Y'all been running errands all day. And you just ready to get your glass of wine and relax. There's a story Antonio told me, and it stuck with me so much because it made so much sense. And I actually went through it, like literally went through a storm. There was this daughter. This young lady, she had an accident during a storm, and it freaked the crap out of her, so much so to where when she's driving and it starts raining, she pulls over and parks. Well, one day her dad was riding with her. Now, for you daddy's girls, y'all know how it is when your daddy riding with you. You know, you 10 and 2 and you keep on going. But if he say do this, you gonna turn that right. If he say do that, you gonna turn that left. Well, they hit a major storm and she started slowing down. He's like, what you doing? Keep going. She's like, but daddy, it's starting to rain. He's like, you good. Keep going. So she started getting a little perturbed inside. Like, hold on. Did you not remember the car accident I was in? And he's like, yeah, I remember it. But keep going. And as she's driving, the storm started getting worse. So much so to the point where her windshield wipers did not work. And if y'all have been in that kind of rain, it is scary driving in rain like that. And her daddy told her, keep on going. Now she's so scared and nervous. She gripping the steering wheel so tight, her knuckles are white. And she fuming because her daddy knew she just had this bad car accident. He telling her to keep driving. So she keep driving, being obedient to her father. Side story, be careful who's the passenger in your car. Back to the story. So she keep driving. And her daddy tell her keep going. They passing cars parked on the side. And she looking at him and she fuming, driving as slow as possible. She keep on driving. She keep on driving. And finally she drives out of the storm. When she gets out the storm, her dad tells her, now pull over and park. So now she extra heated. You gonna make me pull over outside the storm when we should have pulled over in the storm. And he turned around and he looked at her. He said, turn around and look at all the people back there. And she looked. He said, they are prolonging their time in the storm because they stopped and pulled over. But if you keep on moving, you will eventually move out of your storm. I come here tonight to tell you that is true. I was literally driving in a storm. I could not see 2 inches ahead of me, but that windshield wiper kept going. I still couldn't see anything, but damn it, I tell you, I kept on driving. I slowed my pace because I kept telling myself, Deanna, if you keep driving, you'll get out this storm. But if you pull over right now, you're going to be stuck in the storm longer than you need to be. I'm here to tell y'all, keep going. Keep driving through your storm. Because once you get out the storm, you can be waiting on the other side to cheer somebody on, telling them, come on, keep driving. It's okay. I know you scared. I just did it too. Look, my car's still wet. But keep driving so we can both get out the storm together. I love you all so much. And I want to see all of y'all get out your storm. So keep driving. Them windshield wipers may not be working how you want them to because they're not fast enough because it's raining too hard, but keep on driving. Be careful who you put in the passenger seat of your car because they may make you pull over and stay in your storm longer. Keep driving so you can get out your storm. You can park on the side, take your deep breath and say, God, I thank you. I got through that storm. Let's keep on moving forward. What's next? I love you all. Y'all have an amazing night. We will see you Monday morning at 8 a.m. You can plant better. You can dominate. I love you
So
all.
proud of you, Deanna. I'm
Girl,
so
Great
freaking
girl.
proud of
hey,
you.
listen,
That
baby.
was
Wow.
You
good.
are
My
a
God.
different person. I'm so proud of you.
Great
You
job.
like my kid. I want to hug you. I am so proud of you. I am so freaking, I didn't say nothing this whole time. I had to say it. I am so proud of you. You are a different woman. I'm so freaking proud of you. Good. I mean, I almost said a bad word. Good job. Just good job. Oh my Lord,
Thank
good
you,
job.
Mr. Tanya. Thank you so much, Mr.
Mwah.
Tanya.
Wow.
Bye, Renee. Good night, everyone. I love y'all so much. Keep on
Good night.
driving.
Love you more.
Good night.
Y'all have a
Bye.
good night.
Good night. Wow.